Hello guys, welcome to the latest venture of my love here, which is making skateboards. Skateboards live. So let me see if there's any other good views of this. Nope, 1, 2, there's no wide angle. I should have used the what is it? I should have used the other one. Let me go ahead and see. So let me go ahead and show you what's going on. So the first thing you want to do, I'm actually just beginning this. So first thing you want to do is this is a motor mount. This is from Skateboard, the more popular ones. You're gonna go ahead and mount the motor mount. So there's two parts to it, so you're gonna have to connect that first. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and use these things that came with it, and I'm gonna adjust it. Now later you may have to adjust this, so don't tighten it all the way. So I'm gonna just go ahead and insert the motor mount, and this is gonna be a single belt. We're gonna go ahead and use this Skateboard 6374. It is super strong motor. It's a 190 kilovolt. So basically this will be able to go up the hills by my house, I think. Anyway, because I've been building, like, literally I built already 12 skateboards, and I don't, you guys never see it, and I know I've been just busy. I would upload videos every build, but it's literally just too much work. So I figured this way you guys can keep up with what I'm doing. Some of you who are interested in building, I know a lot of you are not interested in building. That's fine. That's fine. But basically, right now, I want to get these. There's 3 of these screws in there, and I'm gonna have to align it so they're not crooked sideways. Pretty easy stuff. So I'm gonna do that. And one more. Hey, we're building an electric skateboard live. Let's see how long it takes. I literally just started. So I've got the trucks these are caliber 2 trucks, which is a popular standard model because it's wide. It's I think a 207 millimeter. So it's a popular choice for a lot of the. Is this way cheaper? Oh yeah, you're gonna get so much more power than boosted. There's a whole community of electric skateboard builders now online, and I think it's you can pretty much get all the parts now. There's so many easy to get parts. There's absolutely boosted board used to be like the epitome, like it used to be like, oh wow, you have a boosted board, but it's just now like it's just like, if you don't know how to build your own PC, you buy that. It's like you're buying Dell. Well, you want to buy Dell or you want to build your own PC? That's way more powerful, you know. So that's really the difference now. Before people, before there wasn't parts, so now I'm aligning this up and tightening it up. Make sure it's straight. Now, there's different types of motor mounts. This is just one of them, and depending on which motor mount you buy, the instruction is pretty much similar. But I don't know. I'm having trouble with the alignment of this guy. I don't know if I like these Skateboard motor mounts that much. This is actually the first time I'm trying it. We'll find out. We'll find out, buddies. What the hell is that? I have an extra screw there too. Okay. It's a little crooked. So let me go ahead and adjust this real quick. Yeah, I just love making skateboards. It's more fun. I might even just, I'll keep doing some reviews. I got the LG thing coming up soon. Where how come it doesn't fit? This is like my 12th one. This is not my first one. Otherwise, I won't be doing it. I built like almost like 12 skateboards. But the thing is, I've been prototyping it, so I've been taking it apart, putting it back together. So I didn't keep all the boards because I didn't have enough parts. The thing with the building skateboards is getting the parts. Sometimes that's what really just, you know, holds you back. And you gotta do little things like you gotta learn to solder. It's pretty involved. You got to use and then you have to program it. So you have to build the hardware, the pulleys, the motor stuff, and then you have to connect all the electrical connections, solder stuff, and then you have to connect the computer, the motor controller that has the ARM microchip. Using the ESC, which is the open source version of it, sort of like Android. So like anybody can build. It's like Android, so they can build their own. They could put their own parameters, motor parameters, and make the motor better and better. Okay, I see what I did wrong. So it is sort of even. I'm just going to use my eyes here, obviously. Let me go ahead and tighten this other one real quick. Fudge. Which side is it? Is it this one? Involved. Do I sell these? No, not yet. But I'm gonna have a bunch of tutorials, so you guys can follow my tutorials and build it. But I'll have the parts list and stuff once I'm done. I'm trying to find the perfect combo for the perfect amount of parts to build my perfect skateboard. So this is actually just prototyping. So once that's done, you're going to mount the motor. You can mount it this way or you can mount it this way, but I'm going to mount it inwards. That will protect. This is not a huge setup, so that will actually protect your motors better if you have it inwards. If you have it outwards, it's going to get in. This is a short board, so this is only. This is a real like. It's almost like a penny board, somewhat between penny board and something else. Okay, I'm gonna align this on there, and it looks a little bit off, but it should work. So I'm gonna go ahead and next put the motor screws back on if I can find them. What the hell did I put them? Is it this one? Let me see 2 screws. Alright, sorry. Over here. Okay. Let's start with the 2 screws. So I'm gonna go ahead and find 3 spots. That's gonna align. So this gotta not hit the deck. So you gotta make sure you got little clear away from the deck. So I might just go straight like that. And also you need room for the wires. So I'm gonna point it slightly up. Let me see. This is a lot of grunt work. And let's save some time here. Okay. Oh, make sure I didn't forget the other one. You know what? I forgot to put one of the main screws I'm supposed to put in there. There is also, for this kit, there's also it sort of makes it a little stronger. You don't really need the spacer, but I'm just going to tighten it just a little bit. Let me see. Is that this one? Am I going to switch? No, I'm just going to do both. But this year, I'm not going to do all the phones. I might just slow down a little bit. Just, you know, because fuck, it's not white again. Okay, not too tight. Okay. So make sure it's a plunger. I might focus on both. Yeah, focus on both. Why not? Because, you know, when my first channel started, it wasn't really about Android anyways. Android was just one of the topics that I covered. And maybe I got too into it, but my channel has always been about anything tech, you know. And I want to keep it that way. Why do I have to only do Android, you know? Do whatever I want. You know? Be open. Make your life diverse of things you can do. Don't limit yourself. You know? Well, I want to limit myself by only in one part of technology. It's kind of boring anyway. It's boring. All right, that's sort of in there. I might tighten them up later. But I'm not a huge fan of these motors. Sorry, not motors. The motor mount from torque boards. They don't line up perfectly. They forgot to send me like 2 of the screws. So I have to go buy a bunch of screws. Like I paid a ton of money. I paid like a $50 for this motor mount combo. Yet they didn't send me enough screws. You know, just like, come on, like, got ripped off. Okay, I gotta find the go-to point. Let me just set this down. Sorry, here we go. Way too much. Where did the screws go? That's right, them. Fuck. All right. We'll just put this 2 screws in first. Yeah. Alrighty then. Jesus, this place is a fucking mess. Kidding me? Oh, you know what? I have this magnet that's stuck. Maybe got stuck on the motor. Give me a sec. Yeah, let's see anything there. Oh, how can I lose the screws, man? Let me just clean this up real quick. Oh, I had these 3 more screws. I don't know where they went. Becoming a little problem. Okay. Give me a sec, I'll find it. Too much wires. Get rid of all this stuff I don't need. Yeah. Jesus, some mess. I think maybe they fell. Oh, God. That sucks. I had 4 screws in there. They just literally just... Okay, disappeared. God damn it. I think I got stuck somewhere. Oh, here's the second one. Found the second one. All right. Probably test it with just 2. Give me a sec here. I'll find them out. So now I want to make sure it's off the ground. I have enough clearance. Oh, that's the most it'll go. That should be fine. It's going to go like that, yeah. All right, we'll set it right there. The hell? Oh, that's the wrong size. All right. And then we'll just go ahead and mount this. Yeah, because you know these builds take maybe a few hours. Sometimes it can take longer depending on what kind of parts are using, because I'm literally just using multiple different parts from different companies. That's why it's not always easy to just make it the same every time. But I don't know. I want to get the best part, but so far I haven't found the best part yet. They all have some kind of problem. Like this one, there's no manuals for it. It's a funny company. Sort of. That's why I'll make some videos on these, so you guys can build it more easily. Everything that's out there right now, it's all junk. Boards is pretty good. They have very good tutorials by that dude Mike. I feel like his prices are outrageous. You're paying like, literally, you're paying $100 for a bunch of motor pulley parts, motors. It's ridiculous how much they charge you. These things are just metal. You just need a metal mold. I mean, it shouldn't cost you more than like $10 retail, because it probably costs you less than $1 to make, you know. Or it could be because there's not a huge market for this. But even then, I feel like the industry is screwing you over. So hopefully, I don't know, if I start selling parts, I think the first thing I'm gonna make is pulleys and sell them for hella cheap. This is just all metal, man. There's no reason to overcharge people for goddamn metal. I don't have the other screw now because this is on pretty good. Now, because I'm just testing this out, I'm just gonna tighten this one real well, and I shouldn't have a problem with it. Just 2 screws. I'll screw it in later. This should be enough just to, because the worst thing that can happen is this thing starts moving. The motor mount starts moving, but it's not going to come off or anything. So you should put all the 3 screws that came with it. But again, they didn't send me any extra screws. I have to actually go buy some. It's kind of ridiculous, man. I put it in here. Oh, I put it in here. Never mind. I found the last screw. Perfect. Ooh, I absolutely need those screws in there. You know, it's all off. So yeah, this is where it gets a little iffy, because you're always just putting things on, turning back on. This is actually the harder part of it, because it just takes you forever to make it fit perfectly. Even though these are pretty custom fit, even then, you can see I'm spending way too much time trying to just get this on perfectly. All right, here we go. Just simple stuff that takes longer time. It's pretty simple. This way. But I built my other dual 6374. Oh my god, that thing is so fast. It's faster than my boosted Mini S. Like 3 times. I was going like 35, almost like 30 miles up the hill. My boosting can do like about 13 up the hill where I live. It was ridiculous power, and it cost about the same as buying a Mini X. So just really wasn't a good experience. The fudge? Oh, these holes don't line up for some reason. So now I gotta take all the screws out. Great, just great. Start over. Nope. Manual work is just... These parts don't come with instructions. Goddamn torque boards. zero instructions, parts. Of course, I could figure it out, but the problem is, for people who don't know anything about it, they're just going to take forever. I'll have a tutorial on it soon. Oh, really? This is really annoying. Hating torque boards, bro. This is why the pulley system, somebody needs to design something way easier to use, so that it works out of the box. You don't have to require user engagement so much. For some reason, this alignment of this thing is wrong. See, this kit kind of sucks. I'm charging like 50 bucks for something that I gotta fucking DIY. Seriously. Way too much work. So it sort of gets you frustrated. This step. Once you get the motor mounted, everything else is easy. But this is where it gets a little frustrating because you got these DIY companies selling DIY parts. They literally don't have instructions and they don't work perfectly. They keep tweaking it. Really, really annoying. Realign it. Okay, make sure the holes are there. Fudge. So I'm gonna actually align it a little bit up so I have room. And I gotta look at the wheel diameter. Oh, that's way too close to the ground. So that's not gonna work. I'm trying to find the next best option. And because I've mounted this board, I gotta mount it the other way. See, now I gotta go backwards. Oh, really annoying. Alright, it's not a big deal. So I literally just put everything together. Now I gotta pull it apart and start over literally from the beginning. Undo everything. They come with these dinky Allen wrench. Hate it. So I'm gonna take it out, and I'm gonna make sure this thing points the other way because it won't fit that way. So I'm gonna just flip it. That was what's causing the trouble earlier. All right, get it somewhere near there. Okay, again, very important. You got to make sure align perfectly. Otherwise, you will end up with slanted, and you'll have to start over. Oh, that's a lot of work. Let me sit down a bit. Frustrating. So the first time you do it, it is really hard to build a skateboard because obviously you're not used to building a skateboard, but I think once you get used to it, it should be fine. Because I like I said, this is the first time using this particular kit, and they just didn't build it right. It just got problems. I've been buying like things. I've been buying a lot of skateboard parts. They're like made barely to work. They're just very like whoever designed it was just they didn't design it right. You know, so that kind of sucks. But that's why I want to build my own parts that addresses some of these DIY problems. The good thing is we still have all these parts you can buy easily. This is pretty much off-the-shelf parts you can buy. See how this thing is just literally impossible to align? You have no instructions. Oh yeah, we'll just send you the kit. Figure it out. No videos. This thing is just not made to center that well. Hanging. I'm going to be using a VESC from Torque Boards. They're all the same thing, but I got this single one. It's up to 50 amps. And then yeah, just hopefully it'll work. But yeah, Torque Boards, these things are terrible. They have another one that you could strap 2 of them with plate. And I think that's why they made it, because this one doesn't really align that well. It's just like you gotta keep like working at these little things. It's just, this is not a good design. They have pretty good solid parts, but like I said, once you start tightening it, it just starts going sideways. And I'm just trying to like adjust it, tighten it, adjust it, tighten it. Pretty boring stuff. All right, I'll have to adjust that later, probably. The biggest thing is, does it fit now? How many times do I have to do this, you know? Okay, I got 1, 2, 3 volts. All right, let me go ahead and just put the 3 volts in there, 4 volts. Fuck. Yeah, this is just a lot of work. This is a Torque Board 6374. So 6374, the motor numbers, for those of you who don't know, this is 63 part. The first 2 letters is the diameter of the motor. So this is a 63 millimeter diameter. And then 74 is 74 millimeters high. So obviously, bigger the number, the more torque and more power you have. So if you want to build the fastest electric skateboard, or one with the most torque, you want to go get the biggest motor possible. So 6374 is probably one of the bigger ones that electric skateboard builders use. And they have, I think 63, was that A4 or something? 80, something slightly bigger. But this will do fine. So now it's gonna fit. I should have actually bolt this on before I put it on the thing. But again, I wanted to, this kit kind of sucks. Sucks balls, man. Very manual. It's not, it's sort of customizable for different things, but at the same time, it just makes it really hard to just adjust everything. No manual. No manual, just guess. Okay, I swear I have this thing for it. Okay, I'm just gonna do it manually. Take forever. Okay, let's make sure it's lined up. There we go. So basically, for those of you who don't know, electric skateboard consists of your trucks, the motor mount for the belt motor version, and then you mount the motor on, and also you'll need a wheel pulley that mounts onto wheels. So there's 2 different types, ABEC, and the other one is what is it called? The one Boosted uses. This is pretty much standard. So there's certain holes, and then you just screw it in. So you need the flywheel, and it just goes on there, belt. That's it. It's a really simple motor car, I guess, little vehicle. But yeah. But building a skateboard from scratch is the most cost-effective. Oh, you got a 217040T 10S4P? Yeah. So I'm actually gonna start building my own batteries too, because batteries is where it's gonna, you need really good batteries, because it's all about, you know, it's all about pulling that extra torque. And what happened last time was I fell off the board because my battery capacity ran out. So if you use like something like 217030T, you've got 3 amps. But the biggest thing is you got you have a max discharge of 45 amps, whereas if you use a standard Samsung 30Q, you're only getting up to like maybe 15-20 amps. So you get the double the amount of power out of 21700, which is also the same batteries the newer Teslas are using. I think the Tesla Y is using that. Tesla's making a ton of 2170. So that's the new facto standard for most electric vehicles. Now, Boosted uses 26650 batteries, which is a Leaf PO4, but that one is lithium iron phosphate. It's not lithium polymer. It's the new lithium. Well, it's supposedly new, but the only problem with that one is it's twice as big as like a 18650. But you get twice the amps. But that's what Boost has been using. But I think it's not really new technology, and it's not as available. So I think 21700 is going to be definitely the new what is it? The new standard. Yeah, for sure. It's going to be the new standard. So I think I'm gonna make my own battery starting next week. Then, because it's all about batteries, if you want to keep the weight, for example, if you want to make a skateboard that has the least amount of weight, like let's say you want to use very small size battery, but you still want to go up hills, like by my house, then you'll want to get a battery that's super efficient with, like I said, a lot of peak current. And the 18650, they're not going to cut it. Yeah, they're not really going to cut it. What's going to happen is if you put too much power going uphill, you may be able to set your ESC to put out more power. But what happens is your battery has a BMS, which is a battery controller, and it will shut your battery off. And what happens on a belt motor, when your battery shuts off, the whole motor stalls because there's no power. So if you're going like 30 miles up the hill, it stalls. It literally sends you flying off the board, which is not good. So this is why battery is actually the most important thing. Obviously, batteries can blow up. The battery on the battery box is way more important than motors because most of the time the motors can handle the power. Like even the smaller motors have way more power. But your bottleneck always comes with the batteries. Or you can just use a huge 18650 battery like 10S4P or 6P. But then your build gets super big. And you see how I'm building a very small board. This board is going to be smaller, lighter than the Boosted Mini S. But it's going to be more powerful. So for that, well, I don't know if it's going to be more powerful because I'll have the setting. Because the Boosted is actually can go a lot faster, but they limited softwarely. It could go like 35, 40 easy with those motors on there. But Boosted doesn't run their board at near 90%. They run their board like at probably 50%. So it's a 2,000 watt board, but it's probably like you could run 2,000 watts, but it's only really running like 1,000 watts. Plus the California law, they set a speeder limit. That's why if you buy a Boosted board, a lot of people are thinking about, oh, how fast your board can go. Well, with the custom ones, you have no limit because you're using custom software. So you can see I've got the mount on there finally. All right, that's how it looks like. I forgot to show you guys how to put the pulley on, but I'll show you. It's just basically these two little Allen wrenches, and I can pull it off. And I might have to adjust it, so that's why I didn't. You know the motor. You don't want to tighten it yet because you want to find out the belt length before you do it. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put the belt over. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I don't know if it's going to fit yet. I might have to move this. So let me just do a dry fit. And to get the belt in, get it on the wheel. Get it on the wheel a little bit. You see, let me show you like that. Get on the wheel a little bit. Once it's on, just start rotating, and it'll just sort of fit in there. And then pop your thing in there. And you can see it's a little tight. You see how it's a little off, but doesn't look too bad. But the spacing here is perfect. You want it just a little bit, but you can see it's a little. Well, I think I can work with that. No, it's actually, it's fine. I think I'm just gonna leave it. Just keep grinding a little bit. I think we're good, yeah. I might want to actually leave it like that. It doesn't have to be perfect. Just, you don't want it like super sideways. Make sure the belt's all in there. So it's a little bit off. I might move up the belt a little bit, maybe. Yeah, I might have to move so I have to move the pulley up, so I'll show you how to do that. So I want it just slightly up, and I didn't tighten the pulley yet anyway. So what I want to do is loosen the pulley mount here. Oh shoot, I didn't even tighten it. And I'm just going to move it up a little bit. So for torque board, there's four of these Allen wrenches. So I'm going to go ahead and adjust the top. And I'm just going to bring it up just a tad. Just a tad, so it will be a little bit better fitting. So there we go. Do one more dry fit test. Okay. So it does take quite a time to make one skateboard. Because you want to take your time to do it right. I mean, you could skip through all this, just, you know, but if you want to take your time, you really gotta just take your time. But the only one good thing I can say about this pulley, a lot of kits you're set with a certain belt size, but this one you have so much room to go outside. See, I'm just on the bare minimum here. And now you can see, oh, it's perfect. Look at that fit. Look at that fit. All right, so that's a perfect fit. Actually, it's a little too high, but I didn't take it into account. I gotta put one of those washers, so it's gonna be perfect once I put the washers. And sometimes you can use the washers to add a little spacing. For example, your wheels too close to the trucks, then instead of adjusting the pulley, you can just go ahead and use an extra washer. But you should do a dry fit. It should be about like that when you put it in with the pulley. But it looks perfect. Now once everything in, I'm gonna go ahead and tighten because I'll make sure everything's working. And now I'm gonna go ahead and tighten the pulleys because I found my setting. All right. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab the 2 extra parts that came with the kit somewhere. Ah! Where did I put it? Okay, I swear I put it in there. So I guess it doesn't really come with one. So I'm gonna just leave it on there. For right now, like I said, this is just a prototype. Not too many things can go wrong. I mean, if the pulley comes off, you know, then I can fix it, you know. It's not gonna affect it, right? So that looks good. I'm just gonna get it just good enough so I could go go and test it out. I'm actually duct tape it today because I want to build a battery box, but like I said, I want to build my own batteries because none of the batteries I want, because you want your own custom sized batteries, so it fits your board perfectly, and also the battery box. But none of these kits, they're very generic. You know, you're getting stuck with how they built it, not the way you want to build it. So I'm gonna I put one washer on the inside, one washer on the outside. Go ahead and put this nut in there. So, also I do highly recommend using the biggest wheels possible. For example, this is a all-terrain 100 millimeter, and it's so much more comfortable, especially if you're new to electric skateboarding. Because man, I've had my 83 millimeter, even in cities, sometimes you see big pumps or big bumps going through the sidewalk, and I've crashed like super badly. And you can avoid that with bigger wheels, because these things aren't really skateboards. These are really longboards. These are really designed so you can go over those bumps. Nobody rides an electric skateboard to do tricks. You know, it's the opposite. It's like longboarding. Why would you want small wheels? You want the biggest one possible, so you go over all the bumps. And with the bigger wheels, you get less torque, but you get higher top speed also. So if you want to go the fastest, you want this. Especially live in the city. Oh fuck! Somebody should have told me. I forgot to put the belt. You guys just noticed that? It's looking really good. So yeah, it took 40 minutes for me to put this together. It's ridiculous long time. I should have done it faster had I used this kit before. Like I told you, this is the first time using this particular kit. So I had to figure things out as I went. But this is using the torque board mounts, motor mounts. They're pretty good. I like how you can adjust the belt real good. Which means you can use a bunch of different belt sizes if you want. I like that about this kit. But like I said, there's a slight learning curve. Nothing fits in perfectly with this. When I reinsert this. I'm also thinking maybe an custom electric skateboard. Maybe I'll just build the skateboards and send it to you guys. What do you think? I'll have to figure out some of the laws regarding that, because I don't know if it's an assembled product. I need a certification or anything like that, because I'm already using certified parts. So if I can figure that out, I want to actually just build my own custom boards and sell it. Personally build it. No mass producing. You know, for people who want to build it, or they can follow my tutorial. Because my passion is, you know, building the best and, you know, baddest. Not manufacturing the cheapest, most affordable, and selling it. It's fun for me. That way maybe I'll have a little small shop set up. Because like right now I'm just working out of my kitchen here. It's not working too well. So you can see the belt mounted real good. Now you want to adjust the tension. Now the motors are right now, they're not adjusted that well. So what you're gonna do is just pull on the mount, pull it as hard as you can. I mean, you can have it a little loose, but the problem for me is that I live on hills, and when you're braking and your belts are not tight enough, what happens, you'll start slipping, and that will ruin and you won't be able to stop as quicker. That will actually ruin your belts. It's better for the motor. I'll have it a little bit loose. But like I said, if you're on hills like me, if you need that absolute, you know, then you want it as tight as possible with your hand. And there's like a like a belt torsioner or something, but I'm not gonna mess with it right now. Let me see. Okay, I think that's tight enough. Just double check. Okay, that's good enough. But you can see I finally built this. It's a little off. You see how it's a little off there? I think I didn't tighten this all the way. Why is it like that? Yeah, it's a little off. Oh, it's fine. But just keep turning it, but it's right on the belt. No, it's fine. That's how you gotta turn it. So let's go ahead and mount the other wheels on there. Let's go for a little smoke break. I'm getting tired of working straight 46 minutes. We'll take any questions. You can bypass the BMS and use the charge feature. What's the charge feature? I don't know. What's up, Chris? So right now I'm just going to use a 10S2P for test because it's a single belt. I don't need a huge amount of range. I mean, like I said, I'm going to use new batteries. I'm actually just going to duct tape it on there. But I'm going to actually build a boosted battery. So the boosted battery they use is 26650. So they use 12 of those in series. It's a Li-Fe PO4, which is lithium iron phosphate. It's not lithium ion, but with lithium iron phosphate, you have less chances of burning up your battery, and also it keeps the charge higher. Now the only thing is, instead of the lithium ion nominal voltage, the voltage is supposed to run at is 3.6 volts versus Li-Fe PO4, I'll just call it that. It's only 3.2 volts. So the voltages are a little different, which means Li-Fe PO4 you'll have to use VESE, like a custom ESC. Most cheap Chinese ESC, you won't want to use cheap Chinese ESC anyway. Well, most of the budget boards under anything under like 800 bucks is gonna use a cheap Chinese ESC or use Hobbywing. Hobbywing isn't bad, but again, Hobbywing is also just it's a permanent program. Well, it's programmed by the manufacturer, so you can't change the parameters. So a lot of times I buy these boards. They're built in China. They work fine on the flat ground, but as soon as I start going up the hills, they have enough power, battery capacity, motor, they just go up like literally super slow because they didn't test for the hills. So when you test for these skateboards, you absolutely need like a dyno. So I might build a dyno because I'm just literally testing on these hills and like eating cement. But a better way is just test out the load and just take it to the maximum. With the dyno, you can just test it out and set your parameters perfect. But I got the parameters down pretty good. So what we did today, we put the motor mount. So if you want to build an electric skateboard, a belt electric skateboard, I don't recommend hub. The thing with hub motors, a hub motor means the motor is actually inside the wheel, which makes it more waterproof, more sealed. But you can go ahead and use belt motor. They're also sealed motors. Most of them are pretty water. You can splash water on them. They'll work fine after that. Well, just put some belt guards and stuff. But the thing with hub motor, you don't have much wheel choices. You can't use standard ABEC wheels. All right, with these, you can use any standard ABEC wheels. So you can use an 80 millimeter, you can use 100 millimeter, you can use 120 millimeter. Now, if you want to use all terrain tires, then you'll have to get bigger pulleys. But that's pretty much it. Bigger wheel, flywheel. They call it flywheel pulleys. The There's two pulleys. The small one is the motor pulley, and then the big one is the one that goes on your wheel, so it fits on your wheel. So that's what we did, and we made it fit so the wheel pulley will align perfectly. That's what we just did, and the rest is pretty easy. I gotta just put the other side of the wheel. The other trucks, I gotta put 2 more wheels, put it on the board, mount the battery on there, and then I have to update the firmware, and we can go riding it. Probably take us, it took us 50 minutes to the first part. Let's see how long it takes to do the second part. Thanks for the $1.90, by the way. West Coast Chicano. Gracias, cabrón. All right, rest is done. Back to work. Build more skateboards. But I'll show you this other skateboard I made. This thing is a monster, yo. This is the one I fell on. This has got a 12S 2P, but it's got these giant 8-inch pneumatic real tires. This thing right here cost me $700 to build, but it's faster than boosted. Yeah, it's faster than anything out there, probably all the boosted boards. And it's got two. That's why this kind of stuff you have to build it yourself, and you maximize it. If you don't build it yourself, you're paying extra for. You're basically buying a Dell, you know. You're buying a pre-built machine, which sometimes can be good, but building your own skateboards is more fun. So I'm gonna grab another wheel here, and I'm just gonna mount it on this other side. So I'll have 2 wheels. You're gonna need some good bearings. So these are okay. Let me go grab some other bearings. I'm just like mix and matching all the bearings. I shouldn't be doing this, but I'm just working with what I got right now. It's fine. This is a prototype. I'm gonna make a full tutorial eventually, but I'm just showing you. I'm just sharing so you guys can get ready for that real tutorial. So you're gonna put a washer on here. Saludos. Oh, my Spanish is getting better. Not there yet, but thank you, cabron. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the bearing in there. Usually you can just pop it in there. If it doesn't fit, just stick it on the trucks and just bang on it. And these big wheels, you're gonna need spacers. Make sure the spacers are tight fit. They're the right fit. This one's a little too big. This should be fine. Okay. Let's put the 2 bearings on there and check if it rolls real good. Oh, just put it on there. And you're gonna put 1 more washer. So there's always gonna be 1 washer in, 1 washer out. Spacer for these big ass wheels. Now later on, I might make like even really tiny wheel versions that you could do tricks on. But right now, the technology, we're just not there. We don't have tiny motors that can. So the smallest you can get is like a 75. That's why, you know, we just need a, you know, for people on the skate parks or they want to do tricks, you know, but you don't want to be using legs all the time, get tired. So maybe in the future, I'll build one that for skateboard trick people, they can have a little extra power, you know, so they can focus on their tricks. So now I'll go ahead and test it out. Look at how well that wheel just keeps going forever. So that's installed correctly. Just make it tight and loosen it a little bit until it's right tight in there. You get that nice smooth roll. So I got the most important parts working, which is great. So let me go ahead and mount this on my board. And you're gonna need some spacers, maybe. Just go test it out. Well, that looks actually pretty good. This particular board is a Londi Yachts. They make really good short boards. This is 28 inches. So 28 inches is the maximum you can fit in a regular airplane luggage. So you can literally put this, just pull the wheels out, pull 2 of the front wheels out, maybe a third one. This you can leave on and you just put it in your luggage. That's why this is 3 inches shorter than the boosted Mini X. So that's why I'm using this, because the boosted, you can't put it in your luggage, it's still too big. Then you have to check another bag, which is just pain, man. So you'll want to use like a spacer. An extra spacer. Okay. You need a spacer. That's got this is I think a 1/2 inch. You can just use a 1/2, but this will sort of absorb some of the stuff. So it's recommended to use one. And you'll need you'll want to use 1.5 inch with the spacers. So let me get a couple of these guys out. Okay. So all I'm gonna do is do a fit test. And the motor's the motor can go either way, but I'm gonna make it go out. I'll show you like this. So I'm just gonna put the screws up. Oh, this is a brand new board. I gotta stick through some stuff here. Make sure you stick the hole through with some sharp. Push it back in. Push the holes here too. This is a really good board because, you know, a lot of boards you can get wheel light with bigger wheels, but it's already got built-in. It's shaved out. So this is really built for the bigger wheels, because I think like 3 years ago I actually bought fully built one of these boards in Korea, like a skateboard shop. You know, I need a skateboard to get around, and oh man, it was such a smooth board. That's why I just use this now. This can be a real tiny board, hopefully. That's going to go up the hills in my house. My house is perfect for testing skateboards because these hills are 20% grade. So if your electric skateboard can go up that means you have like at least 1,000 watts. Okay, once it's in, some nuts. You need the anti-vibration nuts. You probably want to put some Loctite. You want to put some Loctite on there. But I'm not gonna put any Loctite right now. So, like I said, I'm gonna probably pull it apart a lot of times. Maybe not. But always use Loctite for everything, because if you don't do that, then everything starts coming apart. Eventually. All the nuts started falling. I didn't use Loctite on my boards, and just the vibration on these boards, on skateboard in general. Think about it, regular skateboard uses Loctite, but you got electric, which just goes like 1,000 times faster. That's why you need it. And if you can get these parts, these are like standard parts you can get at the hardware store. You don't have to go on Amazon and buy those expensive, oh, skateboard nuts and screws. No, you can just use anything you want. Anything of a similar size. No. But you guys see how fun this is to like just build a skateboard, and it's so much cheaper, you know. If you've this technology is available to you now for very low price. Now, 5 years ago, it wasn't like this. Everything was expensive. You're paying way more for it. That's when sort of boosted board sort of made sense. But now their prices has knocked down. It is so much cheaper to build your own, more powerful, and you can upgrade it. The best thing with these skateboards is that if you ever break anything, it only costs you less than $50 to fix it every single time, you know? You don't have to spend a lot of money fixing it, because you know how it works. And if you want to upgrade it, let's say this is a single belt, later on you have more money, you can just upgrade it. Add another motor mount. That goes out. This nut is, I think, this nut is, put some Loctite on this one. So there's sometimes nuts that don't fit, so just put some Loctite on those. Not necessarily cheaper, but now we have also really good software. Like 5 years ago, I forgot when the VSE was made. We didn't really have good software that you can use, but now everything's open source. You don't need proprietary things at all. You can literally just do this too on the weekend. Okay, I'm not gonna bother. Like I said, this is just a prototype, so I'm not gonna spend too much time on it. These nuts are stripping on me. Oh, that's not good. I need to use another nut. Hold on. These nuts suck. should have bought more nuts today. So yeah, this part takes a little bit sometimes. Ah! This is the hardest part, like just trying to fit little small. Because, you know, with regular skateboards, you don't have to bother about the motor getting in the way. But with the electric skateboard, you got to think about the motor all the time. It's always in the way, man. Easy step. No. So what we'll do is just go ahead and use that. That's over there. Just fit it in there. There we go. Perfect. And don't try to use a power tool when you thread these in, because it'll strip it out. That's why I stripped all these nuts. At first I was using, you know, so just use your screws. All right, perfect. So that's tightly on there. That's pretty much 50% of building your skateboard. If you have two motors, obviously you're gonna have to take more time. But the reason why I use a single, it's much lighter. So right now we're about 3-4 pounds. And now it's got to get the other side on here. It should be a piece of cake. I think I'm running out of number of screws I can use here. This is not good. Ah! Okay. 3 here. The same size. Yeah, hold on. You just go to the hardware store and just buy a bunch of them. I use the 8-30 seconds, but you can use metric, whatever. I prefer to get the screws because it's much easier to screw it in. I don't know why people like to use the other type. I don't like it. Just use Phillips screws. It's way easier to work with. So pop those in. We're almost done building the skateboard without the battery. Holding it. So I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and pop my riser. Sorry, it's just a riser, not spacer. And grab my other trucks. Now you can have the trucks pointing out or in, but for most of these types, this is actually for like a longboard type. Let me move this. You're gonna want it pointing, the nut side pointing out. That's how you build all the longboards. It doesn't really matter actually, but I guess that's the standard norm. I just pointed out because these are really longboard stuff. Not really considered. Let's see if these things fit though. So the way you can tell if the nut's been stripped, usually when you put it in, it won't screw all the way in. It'll get stuck. Those are good nuts. See how this one doesn't? This one gets stuck. It won't turn anymore. Those are not stripped. Those are brand new ones. If you strip them, they just go through. Then you put some Loctite, and you'll be fine. Also, before you started doing it, you should have measured out how much room you need for the battery box. I forgot to show you that part. So there's actually a lot more steps involved in the final. But I'm just going to go ahead and screw this in from the bottom like that. Hopefully the strip screws. More. Two more. Go like this. It's easier to say. No, I don't have an electric bike yet, but I'm definitely gonna build my own. I'm gonna build everything because these parts are really interchangeable for scooters and everything. I'm gonna build my own skateboard bicycle that runs off skateboard trucks. So imagine the bike and you got things going there. I think these are stripped, so I'm just gonna put some Loctite on there. I don't know if it's gonna work after I put it in. Fuck it. I'm just gonna put some Loctite. Ah! Alright, that looks really good. Let's get the two other wheels in there. This one I already got the washers in. So I'm just gonna screw this on there. Because also some of these wheel kits, they don't fit all the wheels. So one thing good about the torque boards motor mount I bought, they can fit pretty much any type of ABEC wheel. This big one it won't fit the other cheap kits I bought on Amazon, so I was like sad. But I might actually do more live this, because that way you guys can see every single thing that I'm doing. Because I could make it into a very short video, but you might end up missing out on little things and whatnot. Plus, I don't have the time to, like, once I build the board for like a whole day, and I'm not going to spend another whole day, couple of hours trying to edit the video, because the video itself is so hugely long. I mean, I'll eventually make a tutorial, but this is not even like my final version. This is just my prototype. No, I don't want to make a tutorial about something that's not perfect. I mean, it's pretty perfect, but like I said, I'm not here to show you guys how to make it. I'm just sharing some of the steps here involved right now. So we'll need to put another washer. Now some of them have the bearings open, like the red bearings, so you got to make sure that points in. But this one is sealed for both ways, which is good. I like these. These are nice. What are these called? The Cal 7 bearings. They're real nice. Yeah, I think they're pretty good. Oh. Make sure there's one washer in there. Now there's a spacer, so you're gonna have to use your, make sure the spacer aligned. Just put a little Allen wrench or whatever. And you're gonna need one more washer. A lot of the bearing kits, like this one I bought, this is the yellow jacket. This one comes with a bunch of extra washers. So if you lose it, you can just grab it from your bearing kit. Just have extras of everything, because you don't want to be like working on your skateboard and run out of parts. Then you just get stuck. Always have some extra parts. Oh, it's super smooth. All right, let me give you a quick ride test. Adjust the thing. Let me see how that feels. So now with the bigger, wow, that feels really good actually. A little loose. The trucks feel a little loose. And you can see my screws didn't go all the way, so I'm gonna work on that. Make sure you dig into the wood. I'm gonna grab my other one here. Let's try that again. Screws are sticking out a little bit. It's not good. Okay. Yeah. All right, that's fine. So we got 3 wheels working. It looks pretty flawless there. Let me just tighten the motor mount. I didn't tighten it all the way. Make sure it doesn't move. Enough space there. And boom, that's tight. Oh, that's perfect skateboard right there. The pulley's a little off, but it shouldn't have too much to deal with the performance. And now for the best parts. One of the best parts. Away. Get them away. And we're gonna go ahead and mount a battery in it. So like I said, this is a prototype. I'm not gonna put a whole battery on there. Then it's just gonna take me a long time to build it. I like to face. Yeah, this is fine. So I'm just gonna go ahead and use duct tape. Later on, I'll build a battery box. Basically, it's probably gonna fit like this. This is a 10S2P battery. But you know, duct tape is actually perfect for these prototyping because they hold your battery and everything else secure. And you can put a little foam around it. Just don't go over curves and stuff. Obviously, your battery's not protected. Just sort of pull on your duct tape while you tape it, and it just gets it super secure. When you I would actually prototype it first, because if you start putting your whole battery box on and you got to take it apart, and you got 20 screws in there, oh, it's a pain in the ass. Just test it out with some duct tape, and later on, if it works, then drill all your battery box holes. Because if you do it now, you know, you mess up something, oh, it's a pain. So that battery's on there tight. Duct tape's awesome. Look at that. And it actually works. I think it's actually a really good material because it's sort of flexy. So it really keeps it in there. Now the only problem I have, you'll see my control board. I can't connect the battery. It's an XT90. So I'm gonna have to change that out to an X90. Oh, I did the other day. Oh fudge. Oh fudge. Oh fudge man. Fudge and men. I don't think I have an XT90. That sucks. Because this port board use. Let me see if there's some extras in there. Fudge and men. It's all right. I'm gonna actually go ahead and swap this out. I'm gonna swap this one out for a XC60 because I'm actually not working with a lot of power. I don't need this much power. So I'm gonna save this for another time. I'm just gonna cut it off. So this one, I'll just save it for another time. And I'm just gonna put a XT60, which is smaller, because I'm not using a big battery. I don't need something this huge. It's just going to be, like I said, it's just going to be more work for me. I have a bunch of these. These are great. See how it's, it connects to the battery. So you can get this on Amazon. Get the one that's already soldered, because soldering this is pain in the ass also. This way, this one I can just go ahead and solder really easily. Just get some rosin paste. You know, I'm just gonna dip it in there. This will help the solder stick. All right? And you'll want like a heat shrink. Get a heat shrink. Pop it in there real quick. Just do it like this. You don't need all this extra stuff. You can just wipe it off a little bit. You'll need a heat shrink, or you can use electrical tape and just wrap it too. If you don't have heat shrink. Heat shrink is just electrical tape. Just you can shrink it. This is more professional looking, I guess. And grab a solder. This is a great solder, like a butane solder. I love this. And grab one of these clips that will hold on to your line. This will help you solder better. You don't have to, so it'll hold the line for you. We're just gonna heat up the flux stuff. Oh, let me wipe this all this stuff off. Oh, it's so dirty. I just heat up the flux a little bit. And on the negative side also. And let's just put some solder on there. Hopefully it's soldered on there. I would put a glob of solder. It'll solder on there perfectly. I don't know if that's strong enough. Nope. Solder. Yeah, baby, we're almost done. So it took 40 minutes to get the wheels on trucks. Nope. No. No. It's a terrible job here. It's not gonna let. Alright, so you can't see it. Why not sticking in there? Maybe I should do it sideways. Yeah, I think I do it sideways. So I usually do it sideways. I can't see that well. It's too hard to see. There we go. Let's just help. Okay. Where'd all the solder go? Okay. Some more solder in there. Right, it's not getting on there. Let me put some solder on the actual thing over here. Yeah, you gotta just get solder on both sides. Let's do. Okay, that's right. Messy job. All right. Finally got that. Let's see this extra lead off. Damn it. That's real strong. Just make sure it's real strong. You can do it ghetto style like me or do it right. I'm not really good at soldering too much these days. You actually go watch some videos on solder. Doing it all wrong. Oh, here's one good thing. Oh, so I gotta get it within the strands, I think. That's what I was doing wrong. I was trying to get the... I should have wrapped the strands around it and they did. Now all the strands are hooked. Perfect. Alright, that took forever. So... Oops. So try to get the heat wrap over it. Heat shrink. You can use a heat gun or you can use a little butane here. You can use a, what is it? You can use your cigarette lighter. Just twist it real good. So if it twists and breaks, then you have a bad solder. But you twist it a bunch of times and it's okay. Probably good solder. Now this heat shrink got shrunk too early. I'm gonna fix that later. We're just gonna use some electrical tape. Just cover the metal. I actually would use electrical tape after I use the heat shrink because I don't really like the shrink wrap too much. It still looks a little brittle for me. So so the bunch of so this is tight. So this is a motor mount. You can actually put them in any order, but I like to start with the blue first. Sometimes, so let me go and put the blue and then the yellow. But it doesn't actually matter. The order doesn't matter. You could, when you program it, it will fix itself. But since this is a single belt, I like to go in that order. Now there is a this is the Hall sensor. You absolutely need to use a Hall sensor. If you don't use a Hall sensor, what's going to happen is if you go up hills, you're going to stall. You're not going to have a smooth start. If you go to big hills like where I live. So I absolutely need this here. There's only one that fits in there. Now there's a plastic heat shrink. Don't try to break the whole thing because that's going to keep it away from all this other stuff. So I'm just going to take a little poke out, take a little knife. Take a knife or scissors. Nope. Grab your knife. Putting how much shit on my. Oh, give me a sec. All right, it's been an hour and 30 minutes since we started. Jesus. 219. All right. Just cut that part out, because you only really need to access that part right now. Then don't cut out everything, or just cut the ports out. That way you keep everything else insulated. You don't need to expose the rest of the, because this is a motor drive controller. You want to keep it away from all the other stuff. Oh, you know what? This one, I don't know where the... Shoot, I don't know if it came with the power button or anything else. Might be skewed here. Fudge. I don't have an extra Bluetooth controller, so I gotta pull it from my other one, which shouldn't be too hard. I do have a extra Bluetooth controller. But I don't have that for remotes. So I do have a remote now. Now I think it's these 3 pins over here, but it didn't come with extra wires. We'll just do a motor test today. I don't actually have to hook that up, but there's going to be a USB hole. So I just gotta get the Hall sensor. This will tell you the exact motor's position. Without this, you're gonna be screwed. You're not gonna have efficient. You're gonna get less range. With this, you're gonna have perfect, more smoother control. So absolutely go with sensored motors. Never go with sensorless motors, because the experience on hills when you have load, oh, it'll be so much better, especially more powerful your board is. So that's it. Let's go ahead and test out the battery real quick. And you can see power's on, no errors. You're good to go. Now keep it away from the motor so it doesn't get all stuck in there. Oh, let me get this under here. And you're gonna grab your laptop, load up the program, and we're pretty much done actually. I gotta set up the controllers, but we'll do that another time because I didn't know this also motor controller is like first time I'm using this one, but they're all open source, so it's actually the same. It's the same. Just put some of this away. Let's grab my PC, make some room for my PC. Well, the fun part is done. I mean, not the fun part, but the hard stuff is done. Now for the programming. Now this one is a mini USB cable. And I don't know where the hell I'm gonna find a mini USB cable for the iPhone A. Oh, it comes with one. Oh. So let me go ahead and show you. So what you're gonna do is connect the cable there. All right. And to your computer. This is real simple to do. All right. I'm gonna show you guys. Okay. We're gonna go ahead and run the BESC program. So you can download this. It's a free tool. It's open source. It's just an exe file. And I'll have a tutorial for all this step by step, but I just want to just put this out there because I know a lot of you guys are interested, or maybe not interested, but this is awesome because VESC is basically this board here. It's like open source hardware, and also it's an open source software. So before you would have to actually use like a C# or C or whatever. You got to program the ARM32 to make your own custom, or there's other proprietary tools or other open source. But this is what everybody uses now, which is nice. You might get an error. Just wait. Sometimes my computer's a little slow when it starts up. I gotta wait till the better performance. Just make sure the LED's on. Yeah, it's on. Yeah, I'm pretty much done. Pretty much done. It took me an hour and 40 minutes. The only thing I gotta do is load the firmware. And I gotta make sure it connects, but I don't know why it's not making that dim. Hold on, let me double check. Check here. Get connected. Why not doing it? Not sure why it's not detecting the US. Maybe the USB cable is bad. I can also go ahead and use the Bluetooth. Yeah, it got stuck here. This first time I'm actually using this one. I usually use a flip ski. That's not working. The change in drivers. Well, I think I'm stuck. I think this is going to take me a while because I'm not sure what's going on. So I'll have to figure this out. But I'll have a part 2 later. Have a great day, guys. But it's pretty much 90% done. I just got to program it, run it. I wanted to actually show you guys how fast this thing runs, but for some reason it won't connect to VESC2 right now. Oh, now it worked. Okay, it's just my computer. There we go. So my computer, sometimes it takes forever to, after coming out of sleep. See, you hear that? And sometimes it just takes forever. And I think it just worked. So give me a sec. Let me try to connect this. It should work. Oh, there we go. It's connected. Connected! Alright. Oh. Yes. So I gotta update. The first thing you gotta do is update the firmware, because it's always gonna have the old firmware. So you just go to firmware and just hit all. And just say yes. Make sure you have full battery. Because if you're using old firmware, it's just not gonna work that fast. But this is gonna take maybe 5 minutes. It'll reboot, so we'll be back. We'll go have a smoke, and I need to get some drinks. the links. I'm too hard here. Is it on the BIOS? I don't know. Yeah, sometimes it takes forever because I always hibernate. And I think when I come out of hibernation, sometimes it just takes forever for USB to restart. But yeah, it's fun. Really, really, really fun to build skateboards because it's the future. If you think about it, it's the future of basically skateboards. You know, there's always going to be kids skateboarding. We've always had kids skateboarding, including myself, and you know, it's not a huge percent of the population. I would say maybe 10%. You know, but with electric skateboarding, it actually opens up opportunities for people who just want to have really easy transportation. You don't really care about doing tricks. You want to go from point A to B without walking so much, or want to go faster. So it really opens up doors, especially snowboarders who want to keep their lower body sort of trained during the summer. I mean, you can literally carve just like a snowboard up the hill, down the hill. Actually, up the hill is actually more fun because you're going up against the resistance. So when you go up against the hill and you're doing curves, you're working out your lower body, but you're not putting yourself dangers of going downhill. So that's why it's so much better than snowboarding, because snowboarding, you have to go down, you know, so it's hard to learn for beginners. But with electric skateboarding, you can learn to carve, balance yourself going uphill, you know, because going uphill, you can stop anytime, much easier. Whereas going downhill, it's a lot harder. So yeah, when I first got my electric skateboard, it was just like, oh, why didn't I do this earlier, you know? Going up hills, man, it's so much fun. I think I can connect the Bluetooth and we can do a test drive real quick, because I don't want to get stuck here. I remember I saw the first boards, but now the technology is so much better. We got so much better, you know, companies making parts for it. It's just a complete different scene. And you know, you still see a lot of skateboard shops now turning into electric, you know. So in about 5-10 years, you know, you're gonna see more electric. So 4 motors is going to be good for the beach. Like none of my boards right now, even the most powerful one, because the sand here is not compact. Like when you walk, there's about 2-3 inches of sand going in. You're not going to be able to get anything on there. So you absolutely need a 4. I don't know, even 4-wheel drive will cut it. Maybe special tires built for it. So that's a challenge that I've been going through, because you know, it's a lot of the YouTube videos that have people going over sand is on very compact. All right, so the should have flashed. Oh, it's almost done flashing. I'm at hour 44 minutes. Yeah, so these wheels are great because it'll go up more bumps the bigger the wheels. Because you know, like the ones on Boosted, they're too small. Like it's actually a safety concern for me, because with regular longboards you can't go like that fast because it's based on how fast your legs move, you know, and they're just limited. But with motored, you can go so much faster than non-motored. That's why you need bigger wheels to handle all those bumps going at that speed. And if you use like even 83 millimeters. Man, the minute you hit a big bump, you're gonna fly off, you know. Oh God. I think it worked. I'm not sure. It was 90% done. Okay, connected. All right, let's connect it. Yeah. So go back to firmware, and you'll see I've been updated to the latest. It's changed from 3.6 to 4.1. So I'm good. I'm gonna go ahead and do general. I'm gonna go to welcome wizards. Just run the setup motor FOC. You're gonna set it to medium outrunner for all of the pretty much most skateboard wheels. Say yes. And put your batteries in series. I have 10 in series. 6,000, the 6 amps. And then change your pulley to 1636, which is what I have. Change your wheel diameter to 100. And run detection. And this should start working. Sorry, let me clean off this stuff on the... Make sure it's not touching anything. All right. So now it's sending some power. Oh, yes, disconnected. Hold on. It failed. It somehow got disconnected. It's invalid. Ah. I'm going to actually undo the port. Put it back in. Reconnect. Oh God. Into that same problem again as USB. Not recognizing. Let me just reset this real quick. Just reset the board. I think after I upload the firmware, I have to reset the power. I think. Gotta wait for that Windows sound. Where's that? Put the Bluetooth there. Oh, here. Oh, I'm gonna need some wires for this. Let's see. Ooh. I think I can actually use this. Yeah, I can use this. Okay. Give me 1 second. So I gotta wait for the USB to plug in. For some reason, it's just taking forever today. Give it a second. This torque VSE sucks. Let me look at my control panel real quick. Okay, device manager. Okay. Driver's not. It's not recognizing much. I think it's my computer. Because let me restart it. Sorry, just restart. How fast will it go? This one, safely speaking, you can go 20, 25. Maybe you can go 30 because it's a 6374, but I wouldn't recommend going any faster because then your motor, your battery might not handle it. Unless you have really good batteries, maybe higher capacity batteries. But this battery is just good enough for about 25. But you'll be able to go up hills just fine. Let me open up this over here. I'm gonna need to actually later grab some of this custom wires or make my own custom wires. Find it. Okay. Let me see if I can get the Bluetooth module to work. Then I can just hook up my controller. Whoa. Okay, let's see if that works. So I got the Bluetooth working, which is good. And let me grab the controller real quick. Controller. All right, I'm almost done, guys. Bear with me. If I can just get the motor controller to work here, it's gonna work. I'm having trouble with the. Maybe I need another USB connector. Hold on. Oh, here it is. I got the other one. I think it's that's USB cable. This one sucks. Throw away maybe. Got a bigger one here. Excuse me. All right, so let me go ahead and connect this other one. I'll show you that. Boop, boop. No. No. Oh, it was working fine. It couldn't be because I uploaded the firmware, and sometimes it gets a little wonky after. Okay, let me try that. Let me try unplug it, plug it back in. Oh, you're all so close. Oh, you know what? I could fix this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, you know what? I should put the hall sensor out first. I think that could be why. Just unplug. There we go. I had the hall sensor plugged in the wrong, possibly the wrong one. I'm not sure, but let's go ahead and take the hall sensor out. Boom. All right, here we go. Sorry. So yeah, I made a mistake. I think I put the hall sensor. So always leave the hall sensor out. Because you can do the motor FOC before that, and you can do the hall sensor after. Perfect. We're gonna be able to actually ride this in the next 20 minutes. All right, here we go. So this will just do a basic. Oh, what the hell? Yeah, this will just do a basic. Oh, shoot. Okay, it's having trouble connecting again. Hold on. Oh, here we go. Let's connect it. Let's see if it works. Okay, working. So I made the mistake of leaving the hall sensor on. Just get your motors working before. So now you'll see it running. I just want to see how powerful this thing is. It should be pretty powerful. 120 watts? No. That's going to be like super terrible. Don't get don't get 100. Don't get anything less than 1,000 watts. This thing is rated for like 3,000 watts, 3,500 watts, just from one motor. You don't want to get anything less than 1,000 per motor. Then it's going to look terrible. So this one gets up to 60 amps, and I'm gonna probably not run it at full 60. And then I'm gonna go ahead and go to current. This is very important. So it's actually rated for 70 amps. So I'm gonna set it like maybe 80% of that. You never want to run your motors that high. And I'm gonna set motor brake to like -40, a little bit less. And this is really important. Your current battery max, make sure it's less than what your actual can handle, because if you set it too high, your BMS will kick in. And when you're done with the settings, you hit this button over here, really small button. It writes the settings to the motor. All right, that's really important. Also, advance, make sure the input voltage there, that this should be set automatically. So now I'm going to go ahead and connect the hall sensors, because right now it's running without the hall sensors. So I'm going to go ahead and connect the hall sensors. I think it's this one. I think I had the right one, but I'm not sure. Let me try again. Pretty sure it's this one. Oh, it turns it off. So that's the wrong one. There's actually another spot. So I put it on the wrong one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here. And open this port. All right. Up this port and stick the whole sensor there. Why would they put it down here? It's such a hard position to get to. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's what I was doing. I have two ports that look this exact same size. This one's hiding. What's up, Greg? And you can see now it's connecting. So now what I'm going to do is calibrate the hall sensors. So these are the little things you need to know when using VEOC, because if you don't do it all, then you can change this to hall sensors. You go to hall sensors, and you're going to hit this. Oops. Connect. Make sure you connect your motor. It says connected down here, and I'm going to go ahead and hit play. This will find out the hall sensor table, and you'll see it's making weird ass noises using the hall sensor, and they will give you different numbers. It won't take a So hit apply, hit the M button here, right to the motor, and we're pretty much all done. But I gotta set up the controller, so go to setup input, make sure your controller is on. And just choose PPM, and let me see if this works. Oh, it's working already. So it's pretty much done, but it won't show the controller for some reason. So you got to make sure you set up the controller correctly, otherwise it might not be doing the way you want to. So I don't know why it's not picking it up. It should be. You know what? I'm just gonna screw it. It's working already. I'll set it on low. As long as I can control it. All right, we're done. So it's running. I'm gonna get some duct tape, get some foam, and duct tape it on. Oh, why you need foam? Yeah. So for prototyping, unplug the power. I'm just gonna mount it somehow so it just stays on there. So the motor here, I'll usually probably mount it here. For this here, don't need this. What we're gonna do is we're just gonna wrap this with some foam because that's all we really need to do for prototyping. This is foam. I can just stick it right on there. This way, you know, if I need to pull it apart, I could do it quickly. Or you could set it up. I mean, you can make it real nice looking, but for basic writing, you don't need all that protection, you know, for prototyping. So almost wrap up the controller because this is all insulated anyway. You don't have to worry about it. Just make sure the wires, they don't get exposed. So I'm just gonna wrap it like a little hot dog. Wrap it like a hot dog. You can cover up some of this. That's actually all I really need for right now to get it working. You can cover this top part up a little bit. It's not exposed. All right, just cover this up a little bit. Let me just duct tape this on there. And what I've got here is probably, I don't know, I gotta actually try it out. Let me just not speak too quickly. And the foam is actually really good. It keeps everything from vibrating. I know it looks really, like I said, I'm going to put it in a battery box when I have the correct battery set up. But even to test out the batteries, I'll have to mount it on there, and I don't want a permanent thing on there. Then it's gonna be hard to prototype. So the board works. It's fully functional. I just don't have a battery box. We're gonna go ahead and wear a helmet so I don't kill myself. Oh, I got literally 11%, so I'll just a quick write up. Let me go ahead and find my stuff real quick. Okay. Get my dad's ski goggles. No, I'm not going that fast today, so I'm just gonna go real slow. I don't know if I set the setup cutout voltage. Ooh, I forgot to check that, but it's okay. So we built the whole board in 2 hours, 4 minutes. And we're going to go for a little ride. I'll be fine, guys. Don't worry. Don't worry. Oh, bring the controller. Ah, it's gonna be a lot of fun. You got my back? Good. Great, thanks, man. I'm pretty sure this. Well, the first day of this test, we're just gonna go up the hill. But I'm literally running out of battery power here for my other stuff. So my skate shoes, man. Oh, here. Let me close my garage door. Oh, you know what? I need to set up hotspot because my phone is not set up for the hotspot. Oh, I'm running out of battery here. Fudge. Okay, I can do this. Hold on, let me connect to the hotspot on this one. There's too much to think. Yeah, sorry. I'm not gonna be able to hold it all. Hold on. Hurry. I had to switch. So let's just try it real quick. Adjust this a little bit. Okay. Oh, fudge. I'm trying to do this too fast. Okay, ready? Brake's pretty good. It's a little wobbly because oh, it's going backwards. Fudge. I set it backwards. I'll have to ride it backwards for right now. It should still work. I'm not sure how that's going to affect the ride up. Though. No, this is not going to be very stable because the front wheel drive going up this road here, it's not gonna be very good. It's just really spinny right now. No, this is not gonna work. I'm gonna have to reprogram it. Unfortunately, guys, I forgot to check the wheel position. But yeah, I could just show you that it works. It works here. And then here for now. I'll have another live later. One of the issues. But I had a wheel because when you're going uphill, you absolutely want it on the back wheels. Otherwise it's gonna start slipping. Let's just do a quick test here. It's all spinning out. So powerful. Anyway, I think dual belts probably work better, obviously. Yeah, I'll have to test this. Me riding it.